Dude, we have no money. We have $0 to spend on anybody. What's up? What's up? What's up, Fins family? Damn, it's been a long time. It's been a while. Nothing been going on, so we've taken an extended break, about a month. New episode of Outside the Pod here with Danny and Jules, and yeah, we're gonna talk some Miami Dolphins football. Let's start with Tua's situation, man. I mean, I know we kind of beat this dead horse, talked about him to extent, but at the same time, his name continues to come up, whether he needs to be released, whether he needs to be traded. And the thing is like the options it's hard to say that's an option, right? To say, hey, trading him is an option. It kind of is not, because people are not willing to trade for him. In fact, I saw somebody saying that, and I should have wrote this down, but excuse me. I saw somebody saying that, hey, we'll take Tua, but also a number one. You know what I mean? Like, people are asking, people are asking the world just to take Tua off their hands. Hey, we'll pay his stuff, but you also give me a number one pick, right? So should he stay as a freaking backup? Should he get traded or released post June 1? You know what I mean? To kind of make it not as bad, I guess. I don't know all the specifics of all that. But Tua is gonna be a problem no matter how we slice it. And I don't know, to be honest, like, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. Like, if I was the GM, I'm like, I think my first thought is just keep him. Screw it. We don't have really too much to lose. We don't really have quarterbacks yet. I mean, people can say Quinn Ewers all they want, but he's still not proven. And at the end of the day, Tua might still be what gives you the best chance to at least look like a football team on the offense. And maybe the change of head coach and new additions and stuff like that kind of, hey, maybe he takes another step forward. So I think for right now, at this point in the offseason, I'm still thinking keep him, bro. What do you think?
I don't know, man. The thing that bothers me is like the way that relationship with the team and Tua are at right now, because it seems like we kind of severed those ties somehow.
Over as far as relationship goes.
It's like we broke up and then like we're trying to hang around still. I broke up with you, but we're still friends, that kind of thing that never works.
Still living in the same house when you break up. Yeah, it's weird.
Right, exactly. So, I get it that trading isn't an option right now, maybe later. I would not give up a draft pick. I mean, that's pretty much out of the question. I don't think anybody's arguing. I mean,
we're trying to rebuild, bro. Like, what do you mean give up our...
Like, no, hell no. I totally. And I don't think anybody's arguing against giving up or in favor of giving up a first round pick. Hell no. So yeah, definitely not an option right now. If maybe during, camp or somewhere someone gets injured or something and maybe somebody's willing to trade. I don't think so. I still think that, taking that kind of contract on is just ludicrous unless we are paying most of it, which we can't. It's a bad situation all around, and I think keeping it probably gives us the best option. Not the best option, but the least worst, I guess.
The least worst. What do you think the team's gonna? What do you think Sully's gonna do?
Man,
cut him after June 1. I think that's what's gonna happen.
You think so?
Because I think you're right. As far as, the locker, his teammates, the coaches, they probably not only from their side, but probably from him. He's probably like ready to just go somewhere else, But unfortunately, at this point, I mean, there's no easy good answer, bro. But I think he may be cutting him after June 1. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's my
it
thought.
would have to be some really good conversation going on, and like, hey, it's a bad situation all around. So what do you say we kind of like see what happens this year, stick around. Tua's not, to me, he doesn't seem like too big of a dickhead. He does say some things that are boneheaded sometimes, but to me, I don't think he's like a bad person at all. He
Right.
doesn't
No.
mean to be. So, in having a conversation, you might be able to mend something and then kind of tolerate each other, for this season at least, and then figure out what we do with him next year. But yeah, I don't know. It's a rough situation. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So me and Jules been talking about Vegas, mostly because we thought about going into Metallica concert and stuff. But the Miami Dolphins are going to Vegas this year, and I think I was thinking about it just a little bit ago. Because since the Metallica looks like it's not a probability. Yeah, man. You know what? I think you're right. I think we go to the game. So we're gonna, as soon as they schedule this, we're gonna see if we could plan a trip to Vegas and see if we watch the game. That'd be pretty dope. But anyway, moving on from that into let's talk about some of the releases that's happened since the last episode. Beginning with right after we aired the last episode of Outside the Pod, it was the releasing of Bradley Chubb, Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Tyreek Hill, it does not come as a surprise at all. Not one bit, in my opinion. Too much money, another injury, some off-field issues. We don't need to be paying somebody this much for a team that's not going to have any real hopes of making any type of run. So, but Bradley Chubb, I think, is unfortunate for me, just personally. I thought he was a good player on the team. Probably one of our, he was definitely our best pass rusher. So we're not going to have really shit once he leaves. But at the same time, again, in this rebuild at this point, yeah, these are not surprising cuts. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody wants to lose talent on the team, right? But in the situation we're in right now, that is the best option. You want to make some space in there, and we're still like what, at 5 mil right now, as far as cap space is concerned. So it's a rough situation. It's a rebuild. We all got to accept it and just move on, man. Just hopefully some moves fall our way and we catch some breaks maybe here or there. We got free agency coming up this week. I don't believe we're going to be doing much as far as splash moves and things like that. But no, who knows? Maybe later in the week. I don't know, but maybe not initially. I don't see us making moves initially, though. So
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a full on rebuild. It's not only good for the organization as far as rebuilding in the future, excuse me, but also for those players, right? They have aspirations to go somewhere else and compete. So if they're not going to be able to be utilized to their full potential in Miami, then yeah, it's better for them to get an opportunity somewhere else. Just more recently, we lost off the team Jason Sanders and Alec Ingold. Another these guys kind of kind of one of those guys that was kind of started in Miami, has been here for a while. We kind of raised them to be our kicker for several years. He was one of the better kickers in the league for a few seasons. He has the that one great play for a touchdown between him and what's his name, the punter, that always is going to be remembered, right?
yeah,
So, both of them, Alec Ingold as well, even though he came in free agency, but also was one of those guys that was kind of a heart of the team. And so it kind of
captain.
sucks to see them go as well. But hopefully they both get an opportunity somewhere else where they are able to compete and make and continue to have great seasons. Both of them are Pro Bowlers, I believe. Was Jason Sanders? I think he was. If not, I mean, he was up there. He's up there, like I said, with kickers. But so I think they could still make a pretty good impact in other teams.
Absolutely. Jason Sanders and Ingold, right? I mean, they're fan favorites. But I get it. When Riley Patterson came in, he's not going to command the same kind of price tag as Jason Sanders. So I get it. It's not one of those positions. Neither is kicker or fullback. I mean, you might have an easier time replacing those kinds of players instead of paying that kind of price tag that they're both going to be able to command because of where they are in their careers, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. Speaking of which, I know there's some headlines coming up as far as movement of personnel. I think a lot of it is speculation, right? And that's some of the quarterbacks that might be available for Miami. Keep in mind, Miami Dolphins fans and the Twitter world or X world or whatever out there that keeps posting these stories over and over again is that, dude, we have no money. We have $0 to spend on anybody. Oh, even Malik Willis, Garoppolo, Mac Jones, all these guys that you guys are like, oh, Miami could look into Kyler Murray to get them down to Miami. We cannot pay any of these guys. So just to throw that out there. Granted, yes, I do agree. These guys are probably going to be made available for a trade or whatever. And could be an option, but I think it'll be a stupid option for the most part. Malik Willis, not so much because he's a younger dude, and maybe he could, maybe it won't cost as much or whatever the case may be to bring him in and maybe compete with Quinn Ewers and stuff like that. There's some of that, but at the same time, no money for really any real quarterback competition for Quinn. Really, to be honest, how do you see it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the only thing is, if we get lucky because of that connection between Willis and our GM, that would be the only thing, and half, right? I mean, that would be the only thing that could maybe, but we're talking about a freaking miracle if we make it work somehow, but chances are no. And then these other ones, no, there's no connections here. There's nothing that maybe, that would want to come to Miami because there's some kind of connection with the coach or the GM, but I don't see it, and we shouldn't spend the money, even if because we should go with Ewers or Tua or whatever, and then make sure we get out of this financial situation, and then go for our quarterback next year. We shouldn't be in a hurry to make these things unless they're for some kind of miracle. They're able to work some kind of contract that's not at least not heavy financially that first or second year.
I don't know. I don't really see it happening. I don't think anybody's really going to try to move without some kind of good payment, in which the Miami Dolphins are not going to be able to do. There's going to be some players already in the Miami Dolphin team that are probably going to ask for more money.
Mm-hmm.
Devon Achane is probably one of those coming into. I know he's not on contract year, but he's going to start asking for a payout. He's not waiting. He's not sitting on his rookie contract, while he may get, because he could get injured. I mean, he's a running back, man. Those careers end quick. So you got to start thinking about some of the players. Specifically, I think Devon Achane's the one I think in my mind that could be asking for a payout very soon. And so don't be surprised, Miami Dolphins fans, again, if somebody like Devon Achane is sitting out during OTAs and all that stuff because all of a sudden we need to pay him. And guess what? That's more money that we're not going to have for an addition of somebody else. If they decide to pay him, right? Maybe they decide to let him walk or trade him or whatever the case may be. So, and that might not, I know everybody will be like, oh my God, this is probably the best running back in the league, and you're going to let him walk at this point in our rebuild, which is, we just started, which is, it really hasn't even started, dude. What are you going to do?
He's one of the great players of that position, but yet it's still not the top 4 or 5 positions in your team. You know what I mean? Like, there are other spots on your team that are more important, I would say, right? Yes,
there's so many.
He's carrying the team right now because he's our best player, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But we need linemen. We need secondary. We need edge again because we just, Chubb is gone.
Yeah, we need another wide receiver. We need receivers.
We need a quarterback. I mean, dude, you could probably even say that a running back is very low. I mean, we're talking about definitely not even top 5 for sure.
Yeah, no.
Facts. Maybe top 10.
Especially with the short shelf life
of a running
and other running backs coming up all the time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we got him in the 3rd round? Where did we got him?
I think it was second.
It was second round?
I gotta check that, but He was definitely not a first
He
rounder.
wasn't a first round pick. What I'm saying is that there's people out there, there's running backs out there that are still capable. I mean, trust me. Don't get me wrong. Devon Achane is one of my favorite players on the team.
Yeah, mine too.
He's explode, dude. That dude. I mean, how many times did he just save us with his running, bro? A lot. He was like the most fun thing to watch this whole season. He was. But it's the unfortunate of our situation as a team is that if he goes, hey, I need a payout, and it's like it's gonna be more money than the Miami Dolphins are gonna be willing to pay him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's gonna happen. Maybe he waits another year. But what is he in year 3?
Achane?
Yeah.
No, it's got to be 4th now, right?
Oh yeah. So he might be asking for it. He might be asking for it.
Yeah, but again, I love Achane, but he's the salsa to our taco, right? He makes us taste good. Yeah. But we need a good tortilla too. We need some nice steak. It's just
you need the right cut, bro. You need the right
exactly
the right technique on the grill.
He could carry you if for a little while if your cut isn't as good. But man, at a certain point you got to go for the nice meat and the nice soft handmade, tortilla or whatever. You can't, man. You can't.
I just ate. Now I'm hungry.
You're making me hungry, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel, yeah. So not a topic that I wanted to talk about today because I think is, it's a little far off, but there's, I think it kind of, what we talked about as far as people getting released and stuff like that and the rebuild, it kind of brought us to that subject specifically. And I think Achane was the one that popped up in the front of my mind as soon as I was thinking, who's going to ask for more money and is probably going to end up walking. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. Maybe Achane, like I said, he actually waits to his 5th year. He understands the organization doesn't have money, but I don't think it's going to change. Now, the more I talk about it, is like, is that situation even going to change in another year for him? If he doesn't get a contract this year, would there be any money for him next year? I don't think so. They're still going to be dealing with rebuild stuff. They're still going to do, other people are going to want more money. And then you have to bring in whatever and this and that. I don't know. I'm kind of worried with losing one of our best players, based on him sitting and not wanting to participate. And then, eventually the Dolphins probably just, because they could trade him for a lot. I mean, so that's the thing. We could get some pretty good value out of Achane that we're going to be able to use. So that's the other thing too. It is a chip.
Yeah. And in Green Bay, for example, right? Like Sully wasn't really, getting these top tier running backs. I mean, they were mostly mid tier, right? Aaron Jones and like, what's the guy they had last year? He came out of the Raiders.
Can't even think of it.
But they haven't been like the, like the top tier guys.
Yeah.
They haven't gone over.
Serviceable guys. Yeah.
So I think that's maybe what they're thinking over here. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to see. What's coming up, by the way? I mean, we don't have anything until what, April? When's the draft? The combine started, obviously. The combine came and went. But I mean, I don't know college football, and I think Jules is kind of in the same boat as me, where we're not analyzing a lot of college football players. I rely on what other people tell me in the media and other, college scouts types to tell me who's a good player. But what do you think is probably going to be the priority in the draft coming up in April?
I'm definitely not an expert on this, but I would, to me, I've always liked the idea of taking the best available guy.
Damn it. That's what I was going to say. Go ahead.
That's throw your thunder, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, until maybe the 6th or 7th round, then you start going for the guys that maybe you had on your board that nobody else was thinking about, and that you're, it's a project, and you want to develop him. You want to bring him into one of your coaches to kind of develop him into a star, something like that. But like Quinn Ewers, right? But yeah, I'm always because even if you start taking the guy that you think is going to fill a hole for you, and then you're going to start reaching, right? Because if at 11, if you've already established that cornerback is the guy you want to get at 11 or whatever, or an offensive lineman. But then the guy that you were thinking of isn't there. Then you're going to start reaching for the second or third best guy that you thought that you had on your board when you could have had him maybe in the second round.
Yeah.
And then that's when problems start, right? Because now you got to pay him first round money. He's a second round type of player, and it starts giving you problems right there and then. It's bad, right? And if you get best available, let's say you get a running back, but he was the best available, and I'm just talking about examples, right? I don't think I'd get a running back in the first round.
Right.
That's just me. I don't get a running back in the first round. But let's say there was, some kind of generational talent there. But you had Devon Achane. You would still take him if he's considered the best guy in the draft. Because
you got to trade Devon Achane.
Because then that gives you options. You either trade Devon Achane or you trade the guy you just drafted. Whatever you want to do, whoever you want to keep at that point. But at least value's still there. The value's still there. You still get maybe a first rounder for the following year, and then also a second rounder. You know what I mean? Like when you trade the guy. So you still got something in return, something of value at that point. Reaching is the worst.
Yeah. The worst thing you could do is reach, right? I think that's the main point. So before you reach, move down in the draft if that's the case. Trade out, whatever the case may be. Move down. But I absolutely agree. Not only that, but we have holes.
Our holes have holes.
Yeah, our holes have holes. Exactly. So the best player available is most likely 99.9% of the time gonna plug up one of those holes, bro. He's probably gonna be. So just get the best player on the board, bro. Just get the best player on the board. That's it. So when it comes down April, that's why I'm not getting excited about shit. I'm just going to start watching what everybody's board looks like and start making based off averages. Who's probably going to go 11th or who's going to be around in the 11th and who's the top guy and see, hey, what's up with, which one's our biggest hole? It's probably going to be like 3 or 4 guys right there in that section that should be going 11. And any of those. Get any of those. Don't be like, well, shit, we need a new freaking whatever kicker. And then all of a sudden reach 3 fucking rounds to get a kicker. You know what I mean? Like, just don't do nothing crazy, man. I know we got a whole new regime. We don't know how they function. So I don't want to speculate too much about how they're going to draft. But I hope that they're looking at it that way. Definitely don't reach. Because we've reached many of the times in the last decade or so. We've had a lot of very bad drafts. Some good ones, but we've had quite a few very bad flops. Anything else from you, Jules?
No, man. I'm just ready to move forward, man. Ready to start building this team.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do it.
We are closer than I realized to the draft and, subsequent freaking, rookie camp and stuff like that. So, it takes a while, but we are closer to the draft than I thought. So that's good. Got about a month away or so. But yeah, let's do it. Let's start cleaning this up. We're looking to a, super non-eventful season coming up. So, I know it's not exciting, but at the same time, it's still nice to see teams kind of figuring it out and we'll have a lot of content to talk about and people to cuss out and everything. So that's going to be the good part once this, draft and everything comes to light. So, but anyway, like I said, the draft is in about a month. We'll probably keep this month-ish schedule going because there ain't going to be anything, I don't think, from now till the draft. Not too much. Maybe a couple headlines here and there. A lot of it speculation like it's been with these quarterback talks and 2 of this and 2 of that. It's all speculation. We don't know shit about what Sully and Half are thinking about. So anyway, give it about a month. We'll come back, probably about the first weekend of April. We'll talk some more. And then maybe we'll start shifting the schedule a little bit once the draft happens and then camps and stuff like that. And some more storylines come about. So appreciate everybody joining us. It was fun. We'll see you guys next month. Fins up.
Fins up.